In March 2018, the Meghalaya Democratic Alliance government was formed. The National People's Party-led alliance formed with the support of multiple coalition partners. The coalition parties include the ruling NPP, United Democratic Party (UDP), People's Democratic Front (PDF), Hill State People's Democratic Party (HSPDP), Khon Hinyotrep National Awakening Movement (KNAM), Nationalist Congress Party (NCP), and the Bharatiya Janata Party (BJP). Apart from that, 3 independents came forward to support the alliance. It is no surprise that the outcome of the 2018 general election to the Meghalaya State Assembly was a fractured mandate which necessitated the formation of a coalition government in the state. Post-election result, the UDP and its major ally HSPDP became the most sought-after party for Congress, which emerged as single largest party with 21 seats, and NPP, which emerged as second single largest party with 19 seats in the government formation. For at least 2 days after the result was declared, the residence of Dr. Donkupal Roy, the leader of the UDP, became the most popular address in the state. The regional combine, which comprises of the UDP, HSPDP, KNAM and PTF, having the total strength of 13 MLAs, can be a force to reckon with, but the group failed to think collectively and exert its influence in the making of the government. In the post-election result scenario, the consortium of regional parties was in a unique position of the kingmaker. The government will be with whichever side the regional parties decide to lend their support. However, with 6 political parties coming forward to support the NPP-led alliance in the state, thus the base for MDA was installed. Thereby, being the single largest party, Congress, which secured 21 seats, was kept out of power, with rest all teaming up together. Tura MP and NPP President Conrad K. Sangma became the leader of the MDA alliance and was sworn in as Chief Minister of Meghalaya. Interestingly, the term between 2018-23, there were several by-elections in the state which include Ranikor, Ampati, South Tura, Selsela, Rajabala, Mau Rinkeneng and Mau Plang. With Conrad Sangma being the Member of Parliament from Tura Lok Sabha seat, it was necessary for him to contest the assembly by poll. South Tura MLA Agatha Sangma voluntarily resigned as member of 11 Meghalaya Legislative Assembly to pave way for her brother Conrad K. Sangma, who was also the Chief Minister of the state. Dr. Mukul Sangma, the leader of Congress Legislature Party, won both the seats he had contested, Songsak and Ampati. He, however, gave up the Ampati seat and Congress nominee Miani D. Shira won that particular assembly seat. Call it a fate or accident, the 35 Ranikor seat, which was won by Congress candidate Martin M. Dango, fell vacant after the legislator voluntarily resigned and joined NPP. Dango in the subsequent by-poll lost the seat to UDP's Piers Mauren. The seats in the constituencies like Selsela, Rajabala, Mau Rinkeneng and Mau Plang was vacated after the untimely demise of their members. This changed the political structure in favor of Rural Alliance. With this, the ruling alliance structure has changed. Now NPP has 23 legislators in the House of 60 and it has become the single largest party. United Democratic Party with 8 legislators occupied important position. People's Democratic Front 4, Hill State People's Democratic Party 2, Khon Hinyotrep National Awakening Movement and Nationalist Congress Party both has 1 each MLA and Bharatiya Janata Party had 2. 2 independents also supported the state government. The opposition Congress was left with only 17 MLAs, divided opposition and the Shillong MP Vincent Pala turning his attention towards Congress and eventually becoming Meghalaya Pradesh Congress Committee President has further created crack within the opposition party. As many as 12 legislators led by veteran Dr. Mukul Sangma split from Congress and joined All India Trinamool Congress, thereby changing the political dynamics of the state. Though the remaining Congress leaders unsuccessfully tried to get the 12 legislators disqualified citing anti-defection, left with no other choice, they went and supported the ruling MDA government, which led to the increase in strength of the ruling dispensation to 48 members. Thus, the two rivals Congress and BJP became part of the same alliance in Meghalaya. All the 5 Congress MLAs met with Sangma and gave him their support letter. Taking action, Congress later suspended all its 5 MLAs. Soon after taking charge as the Chief Minister of Meghalaya in 2018, Conrad K. Sangma promised to come up with a common minimum program by incorporating agendas of all political parties that form the government and assured of working as a team to overcome challenges that the multi-party coalition government may face. It was decided that committee would be formed comprising representatives from various parties and legislature parties to work on issues that various political parties raised during the elections. However, 5 years down the line, no such program was made, and this has left the alliance partner dwelt on their own issue. However, as the election approaches, eventually the alliance partners fall apart. Ahead of the state elections in Meghalaya, the coalition partners in the state, including the ruling National People's Party (NPP), said they will stick to contesting the 2023 elections on their own. Senior BJP legislator and 5-time MLA Alexander Laluheg went up to the extent of saying he personally believed he'd never want to work with Conrad Sangma or NPP, but the decision of the central leadership is final. Heg is also an advisor to the Chief Minister of Meghalaya. BJP's aggressive policies against government made many raise their eyebrows. The party never hesitated to allege corruption charges against NPP and its leader Conrad K. Sangma. The contest between Conrad Sangma and BJP's Vice President Bernard Marag from South Tura constituency has made the relation sour.
Personally, for us, AL Heg, I would not like to work with NPP. But our party decision is taken by the national leaders. I cannot go against the decision taken by the national leaders. If you ask me, no. But the decision of this party, it has to be obeyed. I've not seen any major development or not any major project been taken up by our government. If you talk about the few major government which has been outsourcing, like the Vivanta, they've inaugurated during the MDA government, but it's work been done far, long back it was. So this is a project of many chief ministers. You talk about the JW marriage, that also the project of many chief ministers. So many government has come, so many chief ministers has come, so this project is still going on. So we cannot be taking credit or claim this is our project.
Former UTP advisor and nominated MDC Bindu M. Lanong, who is a veteran politician and stood by the MDA government, expressed his apprehension about the functioning of the government and recently alleged the state is in complete shambles.
The state is in shambles. The state is really in shambles. You talk of boundary, dispute with Assam, you talk of employment, you talk of economy, you talk of development in general, everything in shambles.
An interesting development ahead of the crucial polls is that the political musical chair continues, as many as 20 MLAs of the total 60-member assembly have so far switched their political allegiance and joined other parties after many of them resigning from assembly, including those with diametrically opposite ideologies resigning ahead on 2023 assembly election. The political notes from the jarring hills are that of a musical chair being played by politicians of different political hues. Out of the total 60 legislators in the state, 1/3 have switched their political allegiance in the past couple of months. Last year, 12 Congress MLAs in Meghalaya had joined TMC led by former Chief Minister Mukul Sangma, making TMC the main opposition party overnight. But in the past 1 month, there has been a rat race of sorts. One NCP MLA joined Congress, two NPP MLA joined BJP, one NPP MLA joined TMC, one TMC MLA joined BJP, one TMC MLA joined UDP, two TMC MLA joined NPP, one independent MLA joined BJP, two PDF MLA joined NPP, three suspended Congress MLA joined NPP, two suspended Congress MLA joined UDP, one KNUM MLA joined VPP, one HSPDP MLA joined NPP, one HSPDP MLA joined UDP, one independent MLA joined UDP. At least 20 out of 60 MLAs have changed party loyalty in the run-up to polls in Meghalaya. However, one independent joined BJP. Now with the number of the members of Meghalaya Legislative Assembly reduced, let's see the present scenario. NPP 20, United Democratic Party 8, All India Trinamool Congress 8, People's Democratic Front 2, Hill State People's Democratic Party 0, BJP 2 plus 1 independent who joined BJP without resigning, NCP 0, KNUM 0, Congress 0. A new political development was witnessed in the state with the formation of a new party VPP. Aiming to bring out a political reform in the state, the former MLA from Meghalaya's Nongkrem constituency, Arden Miller Basayamon, in 2021 formed Voice of the People's Party VPP. The formation of the party is based on the concept of clean politics. Clean politics for the party means zero tolerance towards corruption, no more nepotism are the basic concepts of this new party. Interestingly, this is the first party who has received 1.73 lakh rupees as financial contribution from its supporters. The contribution was made during the public meeting organized by the party at Polo Ground. However, the concept of clean politics is how much effective in the state is yet to be seen. On February 27, when the state goes for poll, political parties will be judged by various parameters.
Only is the basis, clean politics alone, I can say, is the basis of good governance. So if there is good governance, you will understand that everything will be set in place.
On January 12, NPP presented its performance report card before the public. In a bid to corroborate the developmental work introduced by the National People's Party NPP during their term, the NPP released a document titled Promises Delivered, which aim at drawing parallels between the promises made in 2018 and what has been delivered so far. Promises were made to bring a change in almost every front from the NPP had come to power. Finance, education and human capital, health, road and transport, power reforms and urban development are some of the areas where the government promised to deliver positive results. In terms of fiscal and economic reforms, the party claims to have introduced several reforms and changes in the rules and acts related to taxation, transport and mining departments, which facilitated enhanced tax collection. In education and human capital development, the party said it had promised rehabilitation of school and college dropouts. It maintains that several dropout students were trained in different skills. With regard to the promise of upgrading and modernizing existing institutions, the party said that 2,000 schools are being upgraded. 21 people's colleges are to be inaugurated, while higher education institutions are also coming in every district. But many schools continue to be bedeviled in Garo Hills, with the infrastructure being far from satisfactory. For the teaching fraternity, the NPP said it has increased the ad hoc school teachers' salary and the pending salaries of SSA teachers were cleared, while 2,400 lower and upper primary teacher services were regularized. We spoke to journalist Padmashri Patricia Mukhim, who recently visited rural areas and interacted with the vast electorate of the state. She said the present MDA government is facing high anti-incumbency. The NPP-led Meghalaya Democratic Alliance MDA government is currently navigating through some rough waters with several corruption charges put against it. Apart from COVID-19, the government has been targeted for the alleged Swabhaya scam, the rampant illegal coal mining activities, the FCI rice scam, the irregularities in the Meghalaya Energy Corporation Limited MEECL and many others. The attempt to impose Gaming Act has been criticized widely. However, at the time when state is gearing up for polls, several questions are yet to be answered.
I see it as a government that will have to face a lot of anti-incumbency because, see, the problem is also that we as the public, even as media, we forget to ask these questions again and again. What has happened to all those scams? The power scam, the rice scam, then every other thing. Why was James Sangma removed from Home Department? Why was he removed from Power Department? We are not digging up into all that. Now we are going to the polls and we forgot to ask these questions. So now I'm trying to tell people, please ask these questions. These are important.
Talking further about the NPP's claim of promise delivered, the party said in the health sector, the party had promised improved access and affordability of quality secondary and tertiary care services besides facilitating operation and growth of the private health care sector. But the fact of the matter remains, health sector in the state needs more attention. Only recently, the cancer unit of the Shillong Civil Hospital was inaugurated only after the intervention of the High Court of Meghalaya. The party claims that the government has constructed more roads in 5 years than in 20 years when all past governments exhausted their terms. On tourism, the NPP had promised a state tourism policy which the party said has been formulated. According to the party, the Meghalaya Mineral Prevention of Illegal Mining, Transportation and Storage Rules 2022 was drafted for prohibition of illegal mining, tracking of the mining, transportation, storage of minerals and to keep a check on overall mining activities of the state. Prospecting licenses have been allotted to 17 parties, it added. It may be recalled that in the last 5 years, a litany of instances of illegal transportation of coal have come to light and even the High Court again cognizant of activity. Coal mine deaths have also been reported. In urban development front, the NPP mentioned the administrative city plan wherein 870 acres of land was acquired in New Shillong Township besides harping on improvement of infrastructure in urban areas as well as measures taken to decongest urban pockets. According to the documents, smart town projects have been launched in Joai, Nongston and William Nagar. It also mentioned the inauguration of the state-of-the-art Shillong International Centre for Performing Arts and Culture (SIPAC). The law and order situation has been by and large peaceful over the past 5 years, the party claimed. But several law and order situations were witnessed in the past 5 years as well. The Harijan Colony issue, Ichamati incident and the fallout of Bukrok firing incident are some. It even recalled some of the recent schemes such as the flagship Focus and Focus Plus, Yes Meghalaya, Skills Meghalaya et al., which is claimed to have improved the standard of living. It may, however, be noted that accusations have been leveled against the government of misusing Focus and Focus Plus schemes. The senior journalists who observed that there are too much irregularities with the government, too much yet to be done. The way forward for the new government. Where we lack.
You cannot give financial assistance to a group that has not been skilled. You have to skill them, you have to show them by example how working as a cooperative helps. Because in other places you have farmer producers cooperatives. They decide the price. Over here the farmers are not deciding the price. If this is not bridged, if the farmers who are growing the vegetables do not get their returns, agriculture will go down.
Social activist turned politician Angela Rangat, female candidate from Meghalaya, while commenting on MDA government said, It was an interesting formation with barring Congress, whose leaders later defected to All India Trinamool Congress. Everybody was on the ship. She questioned the silence of regional parties when there was alleged rampant illegal mining of coals. There was no collection coming to the state exchequer, which means there was no money but nobody spoke. She also alleged that during COVID, rampant corruption was there. Regional forces continued to remain silent.
Regional parties that talk about indigenous rights and ensuring that we maintain and we protect our resources, whether it's land or the wealth of forests and rivers. They said nothing when there was rampant illegal coal mining. There was no collection which was coming to the state exchequer, which means there was no money for our hospitals, our schools, but nobody said anything. Similarly, during COVID, when the people were suffering, when there was rampant corruption there, nobody said anything.
RTI activist Agnes Karshiying, who is fighting against the alleged irregularities in the state, has spoken to us about it and termed the tenure of MDA government betraying people. She alleged it to be the government which was not transparent.
The development, if you have money, you spend a lot. Say you are trying to show that you develop, but it is all cheap standard development and waste of public money. And corruption, yes, we get information that they are buying land right, left, center, which should be accountable, especially in the electoral. Every year they should upload that how much they have bought land, so that public will know.
Defending the allegation of anti-incumbency, the ruling NPP counts on its achievements. NPP spokesperson Dr. M. Amprin Lingdor said, MDA government had its highs and lows. The COVID-19 pandemic proved to be the biggest challenge for the government. Although admitting there were allegations against the government, the NPP leader appeared to have adequately addressed that period of crisis. She applauded the state government for bravely facing this COVID challenge. She also admitted that the MDA had to face law and order problem. Internet ban were debated largely. The NPP leader admitted that there were failures with regard to handling of certain situations by the state government, but Meghalaya was able to spring back in 2022, where a lot of actions had taken place, a lot of schemes were installed. She said against all odds, there has been check and balance.
By and large, the MDA government, despite all the lapses that were felt to have occurred, quickly sprung back into action and handled that quite adequately. There were certain law and order situations that MDA had to face. The one thing that one recalls very vividly is especially the fact that the internet ban was something that was debated largely by the public, and subsequent rebuttals were made by the government justifying those actions taken. There were some failures with regards to handling of certain situations. Now, there have been inquiries instituted. There have been replies being made on the floor of the House. Some of them are still pending. But by and large, life went on.
With MDA facing an anti-incumbency in the state, UDP leadership has distanced itself from other parties. UDP President Meghalaya Lingdor recently, while interacting with media, claimed that there is no anti-incumbency within the party. If there's any difference, it gets sorted out. Deciding to go solo this election, the UDP leadership has evaded the question, as they have not come out clear on supporting any political parties post-election. In an election that is largely seen as a contest between Chief Minister Conrad Sangma's National People's Party (NPP) and Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress (TMC), the role of the regional parties likely to be kingmaker in case no party secures clear majority. However, ahead of the February 27 polls, the many regional parties that dot the political landscape of Meghalaya are ramping up their campaign, and the UDP, which is currently a constituent of the NPP-led coalition government in Meghalaya, will go solo this February 27, which is one of the most vocal among them.
There's no anti-incumbency at all. We are working as a party, as a team. This speaks that the party is united as one. We may have differences, whatever it is, but we sort it out within the party. That is the internal matter of the party. Whenever anybody have the freedom to express anything within the party. So I don't see any kind of anti-incumbency because we share.
The entry of All India Trinamool Congress has changed the political dynamics in the state. The electorate are confused as mixed set of response gathered from public in general. With less than a month left for the poll, the electorate in Meghalaya seems alert, aware and ready for the election.
MDA government I find is like a BJP government only. It's a Modi government, Amit Shah government. But what I feel our business is going very down. Financially we are very weak. Our Indian financial situation is very weak because I'm telling India, NDA and BJP is the same. Yeah? They are like a twins brother. So we are suffering. So Modi should take initiative of NDA government because they have two MLA, BJP MLA with them, and other regional parties also there. But we are suffering.
I think this government is better than the another one that was before. So the MDA government has done a lot of things regarding the business. They've set up so many businesses for people. So I think the MDA government have done a lot of things for the people, for the better of Meghalaya, I think.
Parliamentary Party Leader of Meghalaya Trinamool Congress, Dr. Mukul Sangma, slammed MDA government for crippling the development projects in the state. Leader of Opposition and former Chief Minister Mukul Sangma slammed the failure of the National People's Party NPP-led Meghalaya Democratic Alliance government with regard to setting up of the Tura Medical College.
That when we are trying to draw the attention of the government about the irregularities, about the alleged corruptions, about the kind of dislocation of their priorities, keeping in mind the crucial sectors, there has been a tendency that, okay, this is only for the political reasons. But I have repeatedly reminded people that this is our responsibility to remind the policymakers, to remind the government, to remind the authorities. It's not an allegation. It's an attempt which is sincere, based on our commitment to draw the attention of the people who are required to be reminded.
Leading parties in the election ring, the National People's Party NPP, Congress, Trinamool Congress, all are reaching out to smaller regional parties and independents that could make all the difference in case of a hung assembly. And this looks like inevitability in the state. The fear of a fractured mandate is also getting reflected in the election campaigning, as no one is attacking his or her rival in a full throttle thinking of the future realignment. Interestingly, ever since the state was carved out of the composite state of Assam, instability has been the rule rather than an exception in the electoral politics of the hill state. Bearing the first election, the electorate has never given a clear verdict. The electoral politics of Meghalaya found to be symbol of fractured verdict and instability. Both the regional parties and even the national parties, including Indian National Congress, tried to swell the vote banks and come to power, but they did not find fully comfortable position in the 60-seated house. The fractured verdict has been paving the way of coalition government since the second general election in the state till the recent date. Therefore, coalition politics is very inevitable situation the state experienced so far. Bureau Report, DD News, Shillong.